Workplace well-being. Bringing in the experts on this, Lauren Parsons. Let's start off with definition. I mean, you are the workplace well-being expert in that regard. This is your brand. This is what you do. How would you define that? What does workplace well-being look like, Lauren?
Well, I think it's much broader than what we sometimes think of in terms of have a fruit bowl in the staff room or give your staff pedometers.
Yeah.
It's about creating an environment where every single person in your team can thrive. So, my approach to workplace wellbeing is about helping people thrive, helping people boost their health and happiness. And I think there's a twofold aspect to that. One is educating and empowering your staff on all the amazing things we can do to boost our well-being, our mindset, to manage stress well. And the other side is what we can do as leaders
Yeah.
to really cultivate a thriving workplace culture. And that comes down to the unwritten rules that you set, the culture you foster, how you communicate, how you hold staff meetings, all the day-to-day things that together becomes together as a very complex thing that overall creates the environment we work in.
The sort of place where people are keen to come back in on Monday morning, regardless of whether or not they've had a great weekend, where they're keen to contribute and I suppose to be productive members of the team. Now, in some ways, there's a false dichotomy here where we go, okay, this is something that the managers are cooking up. This is something that the HR department's got a plan on. But to what extent do employees take some personal responsibility for bringing some workplace well-being when they turn up at work?
Well, I think, yeah, it's a shared responsibility. And the great thing about it is that, if people can understand the keys that help them thrive, not only is that going to be good for them, but it is great for everyone around them. It just creates what I call the positive ripple. I'm all about helping people boost their health and happiness in and out of work. And I always say whenever I speak a lot at conferences in-house, and it's always about, hey, if there's one thing you can take away today, I hope that you can apply that in your life and that can create a positive ripple out to those around you. So I think it's a shared environment. Certainly, it's not all on the employee's shoulders saying, we're going to throw lots of stress at you. We're going to put you in a situation where you're overloaded and you just need to cope.
Yeah.
I think it's this shared thing. And that's how everyone wins, really.
Is it different for different people? I mean, different people have different learning styles, different personality types. Some would say, does workplace well-being look different for perhaps different members of the team?
I think probably everyone would define it slightly differently. What's important to them? What is their learning style? What are their neurodiversity needs,
Yeah.
perhaps? So obviously, yeah, it's a really challenging thing for leaders. And I get that leaders are busy, especially those in middle management and people leadership, balancing the needs of their bosses with the needs of their team. And, but it's one of those things that if you can prioritize it, and if you do prioritize it, you have higher engagement. So you've got staff that are increasing their discretionary effort, that are achieving more, that are being loyal, that are sticking with you for longer, ultimately being more productive and creating more profits. So it's all the positives. We've just got to actually see it as a really essential piece of the leadership matrix.
And of course, it does produce results, as I was saying beforehand. If this is a positive work environment, then not just
Mhm.
productivity, but retaining staff and getting the right people in the right place. If you get the workplace culture right, some of the other details take care of themselves, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing things like, I work with clients. I have a thing called my Thrive Partnership Program. So I've worked with many organizations over a number of years. And we're seeing results like staff saying in their check-in surveys, this workplace supports my well-being. That's gone up 32%.
Wow.
Even better, I love hearing things like, I feel stressed at work, going down 60%.
Mm.
These are really, really significant changes. And we know that, the costs of staff turnover are huge, not just the lost knowledge, but all that time and effort to recruit and hire and get someone up to speed. So it's just better for everyone. I think where there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of change in workplaces and the job market at the moment, the more you can look after your staff
Yeah.
and really have a people-centered approach, that's just the right way to do it, the best way to do it.
And
But some of the leaders out there need some tips on how to make that happen, I guess.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
suppose it's a different mindset as well, rather than going, oh, we've just got to get rid of the bad apples. We've just got to get the disgruntled people out of our workforce. Maybe it's not the apples, maybe it's the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
And maybe it's asking the right questions,
Yeah,
Often we have things called exit interviews, which are once somebody's already halfway out the door
yeah.
and they tell us all the things we should have been doing better. And I recommend leaders do what are called staying interviews,
Hmm.
which is the same sorts of questions. Like, Andrew, what is it that you love about your job? What is it that sucks the joy out of your job? What is one idea you could share with the CEO if you could, So we ask these sort of questions preemptively, and then everyone is heard, and that's really key.
And I suppose the important aspect of being able to ask those questions, because there is a freedom that you get with an exit interview, not that I've had many, but you've got nothing to lose in this regard, that you need to have that relationship of trust and open communication within an organization to be able to give honest answers to those questions to somebody who's responsible for whether or not you get a pay rise next quarter. Having that well-being workplace is essential to be even being able to ask the questions, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, very true.
Hey,
But I think making your staff feel heard is one of those key, probably a great takeaway tip. Making sure the people around you are feeling heard is a great place to start in terms of upping team well-being.
yeah, no, hey, look, literally, you've written the book on the topic. Look forward to having some robust conversations and digging deeper into this. How we can thank God it's Monday when we come to work. What we can do, whether somebody's a manager in a business or an employee, how we can bring well-being to our professional life, to our career, and to our workplace as well. Lauren, in the meantime, if people wanted to find out more information about you and the work that you do, what's the best way of doing that?
Probably just head to the website. It's laurenparsonswellbeing.com, and there are hundreds of articles there and lots of good stuff under the free stuff tab. So feel free to head over there.
laurenparsonswellbeing.com. Lauren, thank you so much for joining the team on Rhema. Thanks very much for being on the program today.
Pleasure.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.